That was wind.
What's wind?
Let's find out. Got nothing to do. We want to learn science with you.
Welcome to Science with Tyren. Today we're going to learn about wind.
Wind is air that moves horizontally.
Tyren, do you know what causes it? Oh, I don't get it.
This is the sun. It heats and lights up the earth. However, as you can see, the heating would be uneven. The sun's rays would hit the equator more than they would hit the poles.
So how does less heat at the poles make wind?
Well, the wind moves in a circular pattern. Hot air rises above cold air and spreads towards the poles.
Then, shouldn't it be just moving up and down? Why is it circular?
The wind patterns are thanks to something called the Coriolis Effect. First, we must recall the movements of the earth. How does the earth move, Tyren?
It rotates counterclockwise every day and revolves around the sun every year.
The air is deflected by the rotation of the earth. High pressure areas result in places with cold air, and low pressure areas result in places where the cold air pushes down to replace the warm air that has risen.
I get it! The warm air rises and the cold air goes down. However, because the earth is turning, it moves the air too. Now, cold air and warm air go in a circular pattern, like wind.
Do you want to see the Coriolis Effect?
Sure, but how?
There's an experiment we can do.
What are you doing?
First, put ice on the lid of the jar. Second, pour hot water into the jar. Third, light a strip of paper. Fourth, place it on the side of the jar. Fifth, put the lid on top.
Wow, you can actually see the wind currents. The warm air rises, the cold air sinks, and they move in a circular pattern, like wind. Are there different kinds of winds?
Absolutely. The polar easterlies move from the poles going east. They are dry and cold. The westerlies are prevailing winds that move from mid-latitude going west. The trade winds are powerful winds that blow from the east across the tropics. In between the westerlies and the trade winds are the worst latitudes, narrow zones of warm, dry climates. The place where the two trade winds meet is called the Intertropical Convergence Zone. Around the Intertropical Convergence Zone are the doldrums, narrow zones of unusually weak and calm winds.
That's so cool! What exactly makes the wind like that?
Well, the force that drives high pressure areas to low pressure areas is called the pressure gradient force. Air must go through the pressure gradient force to go through the low pressure areas. Also, friction restricts the Coriolis effect. However, further up the atmosphere, friction lessens and the air moves in a more predictable pattern.
Or tornadoes wind too?
Of course! Along with extreme winds, they are extremities of the wind. Tornadoes are very fast winds that rotate around low pressure areas. Extreme winds are strong and dangerous gusts of wind that can be caused by convective downbursts or tornadoes. Both of these can cause flying debris, loss of electricity, and structural damages.
I think I really find wind interesting.
Do you?